Maple Leafs forever on the Fired Up Network.
Hey, everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to Maple Leafs Forever, Round 1 preview. Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators with the one and only Digit Murphy. And no, nobody asked me again, can I get digits, and all that. You want to know digits, 1-800, never ask me. All right, so that's it. All right, look, I was going to say Maple Leaf Gardens, but Scotiabank Arena, all right? Scotiabank Arena. And people are thrilled for the first time since 2004. In the first round, we got the Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators because the Maple Leafs finished first. Ottawa got the second or the first wild card. So, game one, what do you expect in game one here at Scotiabank Arena?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Joe. It's been a while.
My pleasure.
I think that as you look at the Maple Leafs all the time, I always think, especially because I'm a Boston fan, we don't want to go there because my team is terrible. I don't know what the heck they're doing down there. I always hope that Toronto loses. But I think that one of the things that I always worry about is, are they going to choke?
And you were choking now?
You're choking. We already choked, my Bruins team.
I
think they're going to win the series. They're going to win the series. They're just way better than Ottawa. But I guess we talked earlier in one of our other shows. They're gonna win, but they're gonna make it difficult on themselves because that's what they do.
You just talked about Boston. Okay, this is the first time ever that the Boston Bruins, New York Rangers, Detroit Dead Things, well, whatever you want to call Red Wings, all right, and Chicago Blackhawks are not in the playoffs in 1 year. Okay, that's huge. That's huge.
It's huge.
Okay?
Well, that's a testament. Let's talk about that. That's a testament to the NHL. I'm sorry, and I know that.
Of course, that's a testament.
I mean, the fact that
they got 32 teams before they had 6 teams, where every playoff team, every team made the playoffs.
Yeah, But think about those are the original, a couple of the original sixes, a few of the original sixes, and that's really unbelievable that now hockey is in Vegas and it's in Tampa and it's in Fort Lauderdale. Like, this is crazy that these teams. Well, but then again, who does not want to play in Florida?
But hold on, see now you're pissing off the Maple Leaf. Leaf forever country here, okay? Leaf forever.
Good.
Because you mentioned Vegas. They went to 2 Stanley Cups, 1-1. Florida, they back-to-back Stanley Cups, they won 1. Tampa, I don't have to tell you about Tampa and all that.
I love Maple Tampa.
Leafs have not made the Stanley Cup since you were a teenager, all right? And I wasn't even born. 1967. I'm going to ask you, Digit, what were you doing in 1967?
I was, let's see, probably, I was in kindergarten, first grade. So I was probably going to school. That's how old I am.
Yeah, well,
I was in first grade. I don't care. I want everyone to know that. Look at me. I don't look like I'm old.
No, you're not old. But let me ask you this. That brings up a question. When did you get the love, or where did you get the love of hockey? Doesn't matter, men, ladies, because there was no ladies hockey back in 1967.
Okay, I will tell you that my brother played. I loved hockey. My dad was a Bruins fan, and we used to watch Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. And my brother got to play because he was a boy, and I used to go to all the practices and keep the score sheet. And there was a little tiny, like one of those little figure skating rinks next to his rink. And my parents knew the rink guys. So I would just skate the whole time and work on my shot, work on my skating all by myself. And then I got discovered. I literally got discovered by a girls' league back in 1972.
And when they discovered you, what position did they put you in the first year?
I was always a goal scorer, always have been. I've always had a really good shot.
You were a puck hog.
I was a puck hog. I was a puck hog. I would take the puck and I would go end to end and I would score because it was easy to score back then. Goalies pads, small pads.
They're smaller.
Weren't very good. No, seriously, but I loved the game from a very young age and watch it on television from I lived in Rhode Island, Joe, and the Bruins are out of Boston, and we couldn't get the signal because it was actually cable, not cable, antenna. So we had to literally have those rabbit ears things, and my brother used to have to like stand over there so we could get better reception. It was like watching a snowstorm. So yeah,
in Rhode Island, back in the National Hockey, I know this Maple Leaf forever, but this is interesting. In Rhode Island, and back 30 years ago, you had the Bruins and you had the Hartford Whalers. So where were you, like people in Rhode Island? Were they mixed Bruins and Whalers, or
no? Most of them were Bruins fans because the Bruins came first. But I mean, they weren't like an arch rival like the Canadians were, right? It was the Bruins and Canadians were huge rivals, and the Rangers. So, I just do remember the song. Remember that? They had great uniforms too. So I'm glad that who has them now?
Carolina.
No. Do they have the same jerseys? Don't they have?
They wear the Whalers.
Right.
They wear
the
them
colors.
once, twice there. But again, when you look at the National Hockey League, and we were growing up, I'm going to say it was Quebec, Montreal, Boston, Hartford. Like Hartford was Brendan Shanahan, the president of the Maple Leafs, played the Hartford Whalers. Come on!
Wow, crazy!
Like, look, like unbelievable here. Okay, so I digress. Let's get to game one here. Kachuk's coming back. He says he's going to be 100%. He's going to run the Maple Leafs. Like it's back in 2004, 2003, 2002, when the Leafs played the Senators in the first round and all that. It was the Maple Leafs who had Shane Corson, Darcy Tucker, the Grinders, Fighters, and Ottawa, Daniel Alfredson, more skilled guys. Now it's reversed.
Yeah.
Maple Leafs have Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Willie Nylander, and they don't have, unless they bring Ryan Reeves, who can't skate, and they gave him $3 million for that. By the way, nice move. All right. $3 million and can't skate. So now it's reversed. Do you think Ottawa can reverse it and beat Maple Leafs? Because if that happens, I know a lot of people are going to jump off 401.
Well, I think that I do think that Toronto is way more loaded than Ottawa, but I think Ottawa being big and tough with Kachuk back, they could give them the run for their money. I still think Toronto's going to pull it out. But I don't even know. I don't even think how they done this year in the series. I don't know if much.
I don't know.
Toronto's lost a lot. Yeah, they beat us.
They beat Maple Leafs 3-0.
That's what I thought. And then that's interesting. So either it's going to give Ottawa a lot of confidence, or it's going to give the Maple Leafs something to be like, are you kidding me? How can that team beat us, three games this year? So in true Toronto form, though, I think that they're not going to do a sweep. They're not going to do 5. It could go to 6 games. I think Toronto in 6, but it could even go to 7 because you know how the Maple Leafs are, Joe. But they got to make it hard.
And the coach of the Ottawa Senators back in 2003-04 used to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Used to be one of those muckers, Travis Green, and of course Craig Berube played for the Maple Leafs also. So it should be a battle. And I know people are in that Atlantic division. You got the Battle of Ontario and then the Battle of Florida there.
Mm-hmm.
And and
I think Berube's done a really good job though this year.
Yeah,
I mean he's done better than our boy last year. I don't even want to say his name. Sheldon Shellhead, whatever his name is.
Sheldon Keith.
Yeah. I know. I just was saying Sheldon like that Sheldon show on TV, the little kid.
And, the Atlantic Division, 8 teams make the playoffs in the National Hockey League. 5 out of the Atlantic Division. That is, Maple Leafs, Florida, Tampa. There, so they really Ottawa and Montreal in the other series. So 5 made the playoffs. That's huge. And if you look at the other side in the West, Winnipeg makes it, and 5 out of their teams. So those are 2 dominant divisions there. But she is picked. before in our NHL preview, she picked the Leafs in 5. Now she got a little bit smarter. She picked the Leafs in 6.
Did I say 5s? No.
No.
I thought I had said 6 the whole time.
You said 5.
Oh, I did? Okay,
and
sorry.
And then I talked you out of it because I said
You talked me out of it. I think it's 6.
Yeah, we'll never make things easy because, look, I'm getting gray hair and everything like that. All right. So final question here on Maple Leafs Forever. We're going to hopefully do pre- and post-game show, and Digit will be back here for several times during the first round here. If you're starting your team, okay, and you have Mitch Marner, William Nylander, or Austin Matthews, which one do you go with first?
Oh.
See, the president, good questions.
I think I got to go with.
And notice,
I like Mitch
Marner's
Marner.
Canadian, Tavares Canadian, William Nylander is technically Canadian but plays for Sweden, and Austin Matthews.
I think Nylander. I don't like Matthews. I think I said that in the last show. Or did I say Marner? I don't like any of them.
Marner.
Whoever's the American. I know I should know all these guys, but they just I like women. I like women's hockey, and I like Toronto. So I love coming on and talking about.
All right,
Toronto.
so hold on, Toronto Scepters, right? Okay. Toronto Scepters.
No, the Toronto 6. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Toronto 6 Scepters.
What's the best name ever? The Toronto 6. Why did they ever get rid of that? They should have just.
Well, tell me why. And who picked? Since we're talking,
I didn't
about
pick them.
No, who picked the Toronto 6 name?
We did back when we had John Boynton in Toronto and Ty Taminia. I was the president of that team. There was a guy named Rob Starber whose company designed the logo and came up with the name. It was a great name. I think they should bring it back. If I ever bought a team, I'd bring it back. Bring it back.
Toronto 66.
Okay.
Make it bigger. We're better than 6. We're double 6.
Hey, we won the last one, so that's good. But yeah, so I digress. No, I think Nylander, just because he's Swedish.
He's a Canadian, but plays for Sweden. All right. So
played for Sweden.
Yeah, he played for Sweden.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
He played
for
Sweden. All right. So, Digit, as we close it out, what's the score of Sunday's game 1 between the Leafs and Senators?
All right. I'm going to say Leafs 4, Senators 2.
You know what? I hate this thing because that was my score.
Oh, see, we're on the same wavelength. I can't believe that. We never are.
We've never been on wavelength.
Ever.
Yeah, maybe I should really be an assistant of one of these teams that you have in the United States of North America. All right, so that's it.
You think 4-2 as well?
I was going to 4-2, but since you're saying 4-2, I'll say 4-3. Okay, I'll say I'm not going to give Ottawa 1 goal, even though the goalies have been really great for the Maple Leafs this year. Right? But it's going to be, and I think there's going to be a lot of penalty minutes there. So the key in this series, I believe, is going to be the power play and the penalty killing, because whoever the Maple Leafs play in net, they have done the job. Let's see if they do the job in the playoffs. And Ottawa's goalie, coming from Boston, okay,
he is
coming from he's been really great too.
Hey, like I said, Toronto could blow it in the series, but that could be. Goalie is really important. Goalie is so important, Joe.
Goalies are important, especially if you're going to make a long playoff run. All right, Digit, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you.
At Digit Murphy everywhere. Twitter, not Twitter, X, Facebook, Insta, TikTok. I don't do a lot of TikTok these days. LinkedIn, guys, I'm doing a lot on LinkedIn, and I'm also doing my UWS NIL agency, UWS NIL, United Women's Sports Name, Image, and Likeness Agency. I'm doing that because I'm trying to make sure that we level the playing field for female athletes. We need to get them opportunities with sponsorships and get them the credit and the valuation that they deserve. So if you're an athlete out there and you're listening, go to uwsnil.com and look me up, and I will help you.
Check that out, UWS NIL, the best. Digit Murphy, the Don Cherry of ladies hockey. Thank you, Digit.
Thanks, Joe, again for having me on. Love being here.
Maple Leafs forever on the Fired Up Network.